Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sessions Cafe. I'm your host, Keri D. Singleton, and today it is my honor to welcome Neje Bailey to this show. How are you, sister?
I am good.
You
I
look
am really
good.
good. Thank you.
I'm jealous of those shades, though.
Hey.
'Cause you know I'm a guy that loves glasses.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I love
okay,
me
we will
some glasses.
discuss.
Yeah. So it's an honor to have you on the show. Thank you for coming through. Let's just start from the beginning. Martha Stewart, living editorial assistant.
Oh my
what
gosh.
The?
What the? Right.
Wow. What a job.
What a job. Oh my
Yes.
God. How I got there, you want to know?
Oh, yes, please.
Well, I used to be a front desk person at New York Sports Club.
Okay.
59th and Park Avenue.
Okay.
And I was there for years. And I opened up the club at 6 a.m. Little did I know that the people who were coming in every morning, one of the people was Martha's assistant.
Okay, wow.
So I worked there. I was always there on time, rain, sleet, or snow. I opened up the gym. And so when it was time for me to leave the gym, Martha was hiring for a receptionist. And so I didn't even know she was in the city. And I'm a huge, huge fan of hers. So I submitted my resume and got a call back. Went to the interview. The person who was taking me around stopped and said, "There's somebody you know." And it happened to be Martha's assistant, one of the ladies I let into the club every morning.
Wow.
And she saw me and she's like, "Okay, stop the interviews, hire her."
That's how it goes.
And that's how it happened.
That's how it goes. Yeah, I got my first job. Well, not my first job. A Power 105 years ago. I just knew somebody.
Right.
So I know how that works.
Right.
So what was it like working? What was it like being in her presence and?
I think to this day, Martha and I had an understanding. This sounds funny, but we had an understanding. When I came to her, I came as, I think, the 163rd person who worked for her at that time.
Wow.
So it was a really small company. And I came just as I am with no drama with my name or anything like that. And she found out about me by ways of finding out that I was a descendant of Frederick Douglass.
We're going to get into that.
We're going to get into that.
Spoiler alert now.
Spoiler alert, right? So basically, I just was raised to just be all I could be, right? So I was never afraid of people who came in. I was never afraid of the titles that people had.
Right, never intimidated by
Never
people's-
intimidated, because
yeah.
I'm a New Yorker, first
Right,
of all.
yeah, right.
So we come across a lot of people. So I just held my head up high around her, and we just started talking. And because of that, I was open and ready to receive whatever was coming at that job. That job also opened me up to racial injustices out there, because I was black, working at her front desk, and I was the only black person at that time working for her.
Wow.
On the magazine level.
Okay.
As a receptionist. So that was an eye opener. But knowing who I was, I didn't let that intimidate me. So I left the company after 4.5 years with my head held high. And to this day, if Martha saw me outside, she knows exactly who I am.
Wow, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was really an exceptional woman. A lot of the rumors or things people had to say about her, I came to find out weren't really true. She was just a woman in a man's world.
Right.
Trying to do what she had to do, coming back from humble beginnings. So, that's what made that happen with her and I.
Wow. What a journey that just had to have been in and of itself to be, working with Martha Stewart. You did photo styling. You are a photo stylist. Floral design. Real Simple magazine and Oprah you've been featured in, or I have my notes jumbled up here. Just talk.
Okay.
Talk.
Okay.
Talk to me
Okay.
about
When
that.
I left Martha Stewart, I found out. First of all, I started studying interior design at a very young age.
Okay.
So that's what I went to high school for.
Okay.
I went to High School of Art and Design and studying interior design. So when I graduated from there and went to college, still studying interior design, it just didn't work out for me. And then going into, long story short, working at the gym, I met Martha, worked
Right.
at Martha Stewart, and found out that the magazines, every magazine that we have, that we look at, even this picture that you have up on your screen, those things are set up and propped out by a stylist
Right.
to make sure that the image in the picture is correct.
Right.
So that was my job. So I would go rent props for the pictures, for the images in the magazine, style them at the set, and then just, be that person. Again, only black person doing that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So that was really another eye opener,
Right.
you know, coming into this industry and finding the behind the scenes of stuff. And I did really well with that for a long time. And so now I can't even take a family photo without making sure that the set is correct.
Right. Your eye is still
My
there.
my eye is messed up.
Right.
It's really,
The perfectionist eye.
The perfectionist eye. Yes.
Right. You did a video feature in them US, them.us. I wanted you to elaborate on that because I was trying to look for it before coming in today, and I couldn't find the actual video from that website. So, talk to me about the what they interviewed you about. What did you talk about?
Okay. Us is a magazine, I believe, through Vogue.
Okay.
So it's a platform online. So I was asked to be part of it. I was raised with two mothers in the 70s in Harlem, and Lincoln Projects to be exact. And this, growing up in the 70s in Harlem was a really beautiful, magical time as far as I was concerned. I didn't notice all of the racial injustices. I didn't notice the poverty. We were just all living together. I also had two moms. So that was different. You know what I mean?
Especially in the 70s.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. I'm hoping to write a book about my life because there's so much to write about. But one of the things I want to talk about was being a refugee in the city that I live in. I was born in Harlem Hospital. To live in the town where you were born at and to have to hide who you are and the family that you come from is something that no one can tell me my experience. All I know is that hiding out, because if the school system found out that I had a sister and that I had two moms, we could have been taken away because it was illegal back then.
Yeah.
It was illegal. So you had to hide out and you had to basically learn how to lie in order to be safe.
I plan on elaborating on the fact that you were raised that you had two moms. But first I want to talk about, because you've done so many different things in your life as a result probably of I'm trying not to give things away, but as a result of the experience that you had with growing up with two mothers. We act for environmental justice, for example, plant power. Those are things I wanted to pick your brain about before we reverse track and talk about your moms. So let's talk about We Act for Environmental Justice and Plant Power.
We Act as an environmental group, humble beginnings, environmental justice group. They are responsible for a lot of things. The express bus on 125th Street that goes straight to LaGuardia Airport, they're responsible for that.
Wow, okay.
The bus depot that I live right across the street from on 145th Street, Mother Hale bus depot, the clean energy, that was done with the help of We Act.
Wow.
So We Act basically is letting people know that the Bronx has the highest rate in the country of asthma.
Right.
So they work with initiatives to make sure that fossil fuel engines aren't, used or whatever in a lot of construction. They are making sure that people in low-income housing can have air conditioning during the summer months or whatever. They're really responsible for giving us a space to talk about where we live and breathe and the water and all that kind of stuff, environmental justice.
Okay.
So Plant Power was my call to action. I grew up around trees. I'm very thankful to have had access to Central Park, which is, my park, my neighborhood park, right? And the trees and whatever. So I'm a tree hugger by nature. And so because of that, I've grown up in a house at the age of 4. I have a photo of me on my grandmother's terrace, and I'm messing around with her plants. That image has taken me up to be the plant lady where I live at. So basically, I have a skill where I just come and I rehab people's plants. The largest amount of plants that I had in my own house was 67 plants.
I got 2 fake ones. I'm happy with both of them. Yeah, I do not have a green thumb.
I'm a huge believer, and people always say that about their thumbs, and I'm like, I can turn a brown thumb into a green thumb.
I don't know.
It's just listening to the plants and learning.
Pretty brown. I don't know. I don't know. And before we go to break, cookies crumbs. I'm just throwing out things.
You just throwing out
I don't usually do. I usually talk, but I just want to hear you. I I want to hear you elaborate on these topics yourself.
Cookies Crumbs was a nonprofit organization that my wife and I set up a couple of years back. Basically calling to the answer. There's nobody out there helping us when it comes to pantries, when it comes to clothing.
Correct.
I'm talking about the LGBTQ group of people.
Right.
So we decided that we wanted to have a food pantry in our house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It started out of your house.
Yeah, it started out of my
dope.
house.
That's
yeah.
dope.
And so
Wow.
what we did is the people we had a pantry. If you were vegan, so we basically set up the shopping list on Amazon. And so we handpicked the food that we wanted to supply people with. And we based it on people's diets, vegan, gluten-free, wheat intolerant. So we had food people can come every week and pick up from my house. We also had people who came into my house and cooked meals. We delivered all the way out to Queens. We had people in Staten Island. We were just taking food to people.
Oh, Neje, that's so beautiful.
We went from that we started to help people with clothing. We started to help people with therapy. I also started a recovery group in my house because my parents, my mother and father, met during recovery during the 60s. So I went to pay homage to that. So I had people come to my house for, recovery meetings. So we, and I find that philanthropy is just who I am,
When we come back from our break, I want to elaborate on your commitment to the LGBTQ. I always mess that up. I'm terrible at letters and numbers. I want to talk about further about your commitment to the community and all of the other accolades that you have that make you who you are, which is why I'm almost tongue-tied to have you here in front of me. I'm just so excited to have you here on the show. But we'll be right back after this break.
Okay.
And we're back with a wonderful sister who, and I'm sitting here trying to pay attention to what you're saying and staring at your shirt and your glasses.
Harriet Tubman.
Yes.
Yes.
We're back with Neje here on the show. So we were talking about your commitment to the LGBTQ community. Did I say that right?
You did.
Just
You did.
correct
You did.
me, you guys. Let's just start from the beginning. I know we mentioned it, we glossed over it, but you had two moms in the 1970s. You have the floor, because I don't really know what else to say. That must have been a struggle.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah, it was. It continues to be a struggle. It's funny. But at 3 years old, the doorbell rang. I went to it, and there was a little girl in front of the door. She was 4, and that's my sister to this day. That's my sister. Yeah. So going through life with that has been challenging because it definitely has stretched what I believe to love to be and what I was taught and what family means, right? My mother comes from a family of 13 aunts, and I had 13 aunts and uncles.
Wow,
Huge
okay.
Southern family. So very grounded in church. My father's family, very small family, so I'm the last grandchild in the line of my family. So it was a sense that I had to grow up thinking of getting married, passing my name on, that kind of thing. And I knew that was never going to be me. Not the way that it was expected to be.
Now, wait a minute. You said there was somebody was at your door, a 4-year-old girl.
Oh, wait, the 4-year-old girl came with her mother. And that became my mother, my other mother.
Okay.
So, and that relationship lasted until my mom passed away in '98.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And yet you had to, how did you, I'm assuming the little girl was your mother's wife's daughter.
Yes.
And what was it like for the two of you to grow up in a household with two mothers? In the specific point that's important to remember, though, if we're not talking about 2025, we're talking about the 1970s in Harlem.
Right. Yeah. It's funny, right? Because my mother's had a whole bunch of friends who, even then, I knew they were different. So we had a community of people that respected the family that we were in. So I never noticed anything that was like, messy. until outside people started letting us know it's messy. And so that's when we had to, to kind of like lie and say, this is our family, no matter what. It's the four of us against the world. My sister has a daughter, so I have a niece. But my sister and I, there's a story with her and I, she's my ride or die. So I always say to her, she's shorter than me. And I always say to her, if there's any problem, if there's any problem whatsoever, I will run through a burning building as long as my coat can fit us both in it.
Right. Wow.
She is what family means to me. It's my sister. So that's the most important thing. And we share our history. We share a story coming from two extreme realities being blended together, and what that brings about.
But I know there was the love in that household.
Yes. Yeah. I moving around as much as we did. I've lived in 11 different apartments growing up, and most times getting evicted, not legally evicted, is because the cops would come in, take our stuff out. Not the cops, the people who own the building. Take our stuff out as if we never lived there. And there's no recourse. You can't go to the police and say anything because you're not supposed to be together.
Man.
So yeah, so that happened a lot. So it taught me, and that is in the video that I did for Them and Us on Vogue to talk about that.
Shifting gears a little bit, so you've you've kind of punctuated this throughout the conversation. So you are the last Bailey in Frederick Augustus Washington Bailey's family. Who is this iconic man? Who is this? That's why I don't need to be reading off cue cards. Who is this man's more familiar name?
Frederick Douglass.
Frederick Douglass.
Yes, the man. He had a master plan. But no, Frederick Douglass, abolitionist, the reason for us being free in this country. That is, I'm a descendant in the name of his actual last name, which was Bailey. Right. So, yeah, and I've known that all my life.
You're reading my mind or you're reading my cards. I don't know what's going on here. Because that was going to be my next question. Like, how young were you when you found out that you were related to Frederick Douglass?
Well, my father's family, because that's the family that has that name, they always knew. So as soon as I was able to read and understand anything, I was told that. I was informed of that. They let me know.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. And so we have Frederick Douglass Boulevard in Harlem, only a couple of blocks west of where you now live. Is it just every day you see the sign, it's no big deal? You don't want to just take a picture and say, "Hey, that's my," No.
Okay.
It's just that's his family.
To have the feeling, I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. Right. I have a thing that I go to when the times have ever been hard in my life. I always think about her name was Alice. I don't know why I named her that, but Alice was the slave girl who came on a transatlantic ship over to America. I made her up, but clearly she existed, right? And because of her, I'm here. So I always think about Alice, and I'm saying to myself, what did she go through to have me be here? And whatever she did out of love. So that's the greatest love story ever told. So when I realized that, the Frederick Douglass angle, having reading his book and everything like that, and being told about my history since, like I said, I could ever remember, I was always encouraged to be more than what anybody's telling you out there. Because people out there telling you stuff, they're coming up with biases and stuff. You know the truth about what your blood brings forth.
Right. I mean, is that something that you proudly shared in your early years in school? Like, did you wear it on your chest? Because I would have. I mean, listen, Donna Summer is a cousin of mine through marriage. No, through marriage now. But do you know that from the day that I found out that Donna Summer was my cousin, through marriage, I ran that like a bicycle. Like a bicycle in the late 80s. What? So, but you are the descendant of one of the most iconic African Americans to ever have been written about. And it's like I said, and you grew up in Harlem. Is that something that you wore on your chest, or did you just keep it to yourself?
No, I wear it on my chest.
I know that's right.
I wear it on my chest. I remember.
Yes.
I remember being in high school. Like I said, I went to art design high school. My 11th grade teacher asked us to bring in, stuff on our family history. And we have a book the Baileys have a book on our history. And inside the book has the slave ledgers, all the information, has all of our family members when they started taking photos, all that's in this book. I asked my grandmother, can I bring this book to school to show this lady? Because I told her who I was and how far back we go. She didn't believe me. Like, so I was like, okay, you know, whatever. I bring the book to her, and she had to sit there and eat what she said.
Yeah,
I said, listen, like, yeah, my family came here in 1702. There's no reason to lie about that, but also to the fact that my family has been kind of lost over time. Like Martin Luther King's people, Malcolm X's people, that's modern day. And so we have records of their children and what they're doing. My family goes back for so long ago that it sounds like you don't even think that his family could still possibly be here.
Right.
And I'm here to say, I am.
You are.
I is,
You
right?
are,
And so every
right,
time I get a moment to talk about who this man is, I bring up that part about the history, but I also bring it full circle to say that I am going to keep going on, abolitioning for my people, but bringing in the gay part to it. So every time I speak somewhere, I say, yes, I'm a descendant of Frederick Douglass, and I'm also a gay black person. Because my mothers were denied that, you know?
Ma'am.
And so I feel like it's more power in saying that. And they're also saying that if we want to talk about gay, it goes back to Africa. You know what I mean? It's not something that was done here to us, you know? So I always kind of push forward with that information. And also, too, knowing that the greatest artists were people of color. I grew up knowing about Marian Anderson, Paul Rubin, just all these people who were the creators. Someone mentioned Miles Davis. I love him to death. Nikki Giovanni. So I grew up knowing all of the greatest of who we are. And without that knowledge, there's no way possible that any of us could be sitting here today.
You know, this is the quietest I've ever been during an interview. I'm just sitting here like, I could just, this is why with you, Neje, I've actually just shot out a topic and not said anything. I'm just sitting here like, basking in your presence. And we're talking about the LGBTQ community. I finally got it right. What's the significance of Pride Month? So every June, you know, it's Gay Pride Month. What's the significance? Like, why is that necessary, in your opinion? Why is it necessary for there to be a Gay Pride Month, from your perspective?
You're asking someone who is not happy about Black History Month, February, right? So, Pride Month, having that be something that we are dealing with here in the city when so many of us out here displaced, don't have homes, don't have jobs, can't necessarily be who they want to be. I feel Pride Month is kind of a gloss over.
Okay.
It's the same thing with saying New York City is the city, what is it? The Great Apple. I forgot what they call it.
The Big Apple?
The Big Apple, or whatever. Or we're just all supposed to be like this one thing, and we're not. So I never really took pride. I haven't felt pride that was accepted outside of my family and friends, that the outskirts of feeling pride for me and excited about me being who I am. You know, because once you got to add sponsorships to have pride exist. Right. You know.
And what about Black History Month? Why are you not happy about that?
Because we deserve every month.
I know that's right.
Like,
why should it just be 1 month?
The simplest thing I always say, high-rise buildings only existed because a black man created the elevator system. And so it all comes down to this. The reason why we have film. You know, I have a list in my house of the 100 things that black people created on Earth, and the first thing they said was civilization.
Oh, never high five. What's next for you? Because one of the things I also skipped over, because I'm just sitting there listening to everything that you're saying, is that you're also a survivor of MS.
Yeah.
A thriving.
thriver. Yes, thriving thriver of MS.
Yes.
Funny how that happened. It's not funny at all.
We only got 1 minute, so.
Okay, I was called for the job, the task, because I have to show people what MS can also look like. I was diagnosed in 2005 on the way to a job interview for Hallmark, and then got sick as a dog with vertigo.
Wow.
And I listened, I followed. MS has been the best thing that ever happened to me, because in order to be me, you have to clean your house. You have to clean your house. You have to really get back to what life is really about.
Wow. You got to come back to the show. You got to come back to the show. We got way more to talk about than I could possibly write. I want to thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank
you. You are a
you.
blessing. You are, I can see why Enoch speaks so highly of you. He's one of my best friends, and he seems to know some awesome people, and you are absolutely no exception.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.